Senior UN officials have warned a high-level meeting on migration that unilateral policies will not address the challenge of international migration. And while there was a lack of consensus on what was forcing people to move, the calls for burden sharing appeared unanimous.
These now familiar scenes of people on the move, as the world grapples with how to bring a sense of hope to the millions now deemed helpless.
If we are united, we can do it. This may be a crisis of numbers, but I think it may be a crisis of global solidarity. If we have global solidarity, we can overcome these tragic scenes.
One thing we have to recognize is that proximity doesn't determine responsibility. The fact that you're beside a disaster doesn't mean that you're responsible for those who are involved in it.
Hungary, that has faced criticism over its handling of the problem, rejected the notion that this was purely a refugee crisis.
This is not a refugee crisis. This is a mass migratory movement composed of economic migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and also foreign fighters. This is an uncontrolled and unregulated process.
Hungary's Prime Minister also said they were encountering people from Syria, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan and most recently from sub-Saharan Africa at their border. Earlier, G7 countries and some Arab nations pledged $1.8 billion to the UN to deal with the migration crisis, with monies particularly earmarked for the World Food Programme and the UN Refugee Agency that is facing what it calls an explosion of forced migration. Sherwin Bryce's SABC News, New York.